I'm so mad and frustrated right now because me and my wife, we were planning to go to Korea tomorrow for my sister's wedding. However, Trump just signed the bill for H-1B visa holders.
Crazy turn of events. My boyfriend had to get up out of our Italian pasta making class in Rome and leave. I kid you not, leave. Not the class, leave Rome because of the whole H-1B $100,000 situation that's going into effect Saturday at midnight, and it's literally Saturday midday in Rome right now.
So that was an Emirates flight from the United States to India. And as you can see in that video, that was the moment people found out that Trump's new H-1B visa rule has gone into effect. And if they leave the country, they're not going to be able to come back in the country. So people started deboarding. They started because, yeah, H-1B people who are in America right now cannot leave America. The ones outside, if they want to come in, it's going to cost them $100,000. Like, it's crazy. So white men are reserving plane tickets from India to the United States to stop Indians who are trying to come back to America before the deadline expires, so they won't have available tickets. They're posting it on 4chan. Like, they're taking a loss, right? They're taking a loss. So what they're doing is they're reserving the tickets so that because Trump has passed the new H-1B rule. So people who are in America are not trying to leave, and those who are overseas have been running back. Like,
the healthcare system is cooked, so the proclamation that was just signed now requiring companies to pay $100,000 for people on HB-1 visas, basically to prioritize Americans to get the jobs. So now everybody's thinking about tech. They're just going to outsource it and nobody is thinking about healthcare. Do you guys not understand how many people in healthcare currently are under a HB-1 visa?
Now I got to take a minute to explain the United States to the United States, because y'all been getting lied to and you don't even know it. So y'all been screaming they took our jobs. Yes, Mohammed the brain surgeon took your job. So back in the
Welcome back to the channel, my people. I do hope that from wherever you are watching this from, you are doing all right. Hopefully God has protected you and preserved you very well. Thank you to all of you that support me on here, and a big shout out to my members. You guys do me amazing. As always, we have another video, an episode to look at today. Looks like the HB-1 visas have gotten even more expensive, and that has seen a lot of people getting off flights, especially because it came into effect today, which is the 21st of September. So all the people that had flights scheduled going out of the country back to their home country, they boarded off, because if this came into effect when they are out of the country, they were worried if they were going to be able to come back. And those that were outside of the country are also panicking to come back to the US so that, you know, they don't get shut out, right? And this has left quite a number of people in panic mode and wondering what the future of tech and also healthcare is going to be like in the United States, because this is not just about, you know, the tech industry, but also the healthcare. US normally depends on a lot of, you know, foreign workers that are working in the US hospitals to help save the lives of others. So people have a lot of concerns, and we have quite a number of those that were stepping off the planes, those that are rushing to, you know, get flights to come, those that are in America that are already in the healthcare sector, talking about what is going to befall this entire, you know, system. But I want us to look at all these videos together. We'll come back and talk about it. Do me a favor, like that video. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back.
I'm so mad and frustrated right now because me and my wife, we were planning to go to Korea tomorrow for my sister's wedding. However, Trump just signed the bill for H-1B visa holders. So H-1B visa is basically a working visa for foreigners to work in US. And employers normally sponsor those visas. And the bill basically was, now employers have to pay $100,000 per person per year, which basically means do not hire foreign workers outside of US. For my case, my petition already approved and everything, so that all I needed to do was go to Korea and go to US Embassy, get the interview for the visa, and then get the visa stamp, and then come back to US. That was my plan. However, now that this bill is just going to be effective tomorrow, everything is uncertain. Like, I don't even know how long it will take for them to give me a visa stamp, and I don't even know if they're just gonna give me a visa stamp. And I don't even know, even if I get a visa stamp, when I come to US, they might ask, did your employer pay that? Answer is no. And will my employer pay for me that amount of money? No. So we've decided not to go. We were so excited until we heard this news, and I haven't even talked to my mom. I don't even know what to tell her. She was so excited to see us, especially since my wife is pregnant. I don't even know when I'm gonna be able to leave this country. I'm just sending out this for awareness to people like myself. If you're currently in US with the H-1B visa working as a foreigner, do not leave this country. Otherwise, you might not be able to come back.
Crazy turn of events. My boyfriend had to get up out of our Italian pasta making class in Rome and leave. I kid you not, leave. Not the class, leave Rome because of the whole H-1B $100,000 situation that's going into effect Saturday at midnight, and it's literally Saturday midday in Rome right now, so he had to be on the next flight back to make it in time. And so now I'm here solo, but he booked the next flight to anywhere in the US he can find, which is crazy. He'll be fine. Italian vacations can happen again, like, not stressed, but it does make me wonder about, number one, people that can't just drop of a hat, buy a ticket back, or are number two, too far away in a different country to make it back in time, who have just like had their entire world flipped upside down overnight because it came into effect and happened so quickly. Crazy times we live in. Anyways, I'm gonna go shopping. I think I deserve it.
So white men are reserving plane tickets from India to the United States to stop Indians who are trying to come back to America before the deadline expires, so they won't have available tickets. They're posting it on 4chan. Like, they're taking a loss, right? They're taking a loss. So what they're doing is they're reserving the tickets so that because Trump has passed the new H-1B rule. So people who are in America are not trying to leave. And those who are overseas have been running back. Like, there's been stories. This woman was on the honeymoon. She was literally on a honeymoon in Greece with her husband. And she saw, and he got the message from his company. His company called him and told him, come the fuck right now. He got in a plane and left his wife in Greece and came back. And she was on the way back to, because anyways, white men have been going to 4chan, posting screenshots of reservations they've been making. They're doing this at a loss. They're just trying to make sure there are no Indians who have plane tickets to come back home. White people, bruh. I've said this, right? The biggest mistake, the only reason white Americans are the way they are is because black people chose forgiveness for slavery. The biggest mistake in this world, in this modern world, is black people choosing forgiveness over vengeance. Because I don't know how to explain it, but if you get it, you get it. White people in America have the confidence and the bravado they do because after slavery, black people chose forgiveness over violence and vengeance.
Gentlemen, the captain speaking. Due to the current circumstances, obviously, that are unprecedented for us here at Emirates, we are aware that a number of passengers do not wish to travel with us, and that's perfectly fine. All we ask is that if you wish to offload yourself, you do so.
So that was an Emirates flight from the United States to India. And as you can see in that video, that was the moment people found out that Trump's new H-1B visa rule has gone into effect. And if they leave the country, they're not going to be able to come back in the country. So people started deboarding. They started because, yeah, H-1B people who are in America right now cannot leave America. The ones outside, if they want to come in, it's going to cost them $100,000. Like, it's crazy.
This H-1B visa news has actually made me laugh so hard. As a Canadian that studied at the University of Waterloo and who works at Apple and has interned a year and a half in Silicon Valley, I can tell you that this is the downfall of tech in America. We're cooked. America's cooked. Like, this is cooked. Like, half my team at Apple's gone. All the team at LinkedIn is gone. Like, guys, like, this is a serious issue. And why are people celebrating this? Like, you guys are basically saying we don't need tech anymore. We got AI. No, you suck. Like, Americans suck at coding. Like, respectfully, I can't code without AI, right? So the Indian people who are coming and building these magical
perfect, beautiful code are carrying us. And so we're cooked. Yalla, I'm going back to Canada. I'm actually happy about this news because I miss my family and my sister a lot. So send me back.
The healthcare system is cooked, so the proclamation that was just signed now requiring companies to pay $100,000 for people on HB-1 visas, basically to prioritize Americans to get the jobs. So now everybody's thinking about tech. They're just going to outsource it and da-da. Nobody is thinking about healthcare. Do you guys not understand how many people in healthcare currently are under an HB-1 visa? And if these companies do away with them, we don't have enough people to fill those vacancies at this time. So what are we going to do? Nobody's going to be able to see a provider. Nobody's going to be able to seek treatment because we're already flooded. We already don't have enough for what we have. So if the people with the HB-1 visas can no longer work, it's going to get spooky.
Indians working in the US have gotten the biggest shock of their lives, but it may work out to be very well for India, and I'll explain exactly what is happening. So yesterday, President Trump mentioned that any American company hiring foreign workers on H-1B visa will have to pay $100,000 every year to the US government in the form of a fee. Which means every Indian who will be hired by an American company, well, that company in the US will have to pay 88 lakh rupees, not one time, but every single year. Now, this means that practically all the Indians working in the US and are not already US citizens may have to come back, because right now this is a presidential order, and whether it's going to sustain in the US Congress or not, we can't really say. But imagine it does. I'll tell you what will happen. For example, when I speak with the administration at B schools in India like ISB as well as IIMA, the administration is really happy because right now the kind of applicants they're getting to these colleges for the MBA program are absolutely phenomenal. Because, 35% of the Indians who would apply to the US every year in search for better MBA are now not applying, and all these people are now studying in India. Similarly, now the best of talent from the world is going to come back to India because companies may not want to hire them in the US. And over the next 5 to 7 years, I would predict that a lot of global companies would then begin to bring investments into India, start setting up companies into India, and quite like how China grew over the past 2 decades on the back of their fabulous talent, which built massive tech companies inside of China which are now going global. The same journey may actually happen for India over the next 1 decade, because 71% of the H-1B applicants are actually Indians and only 12% are Chinese, which is why, while it is really painful for people who have family members in the US working right now in the short term, in the long term, it may be a fabulous golden opportunity for our country, India. Share it with someone who may need it.
Now I got to take a minute to explain the United States to the United States, because y'all been getting lied to and you don't even know it. So y'all been screaming they took our jobs, Yes, Mohammed the brain surgeon took your job. So back in the 1960s, the United States came to my parents, my family's island in the Caribbean, begging for nurses and doctors to come to the United States. That's why we ended up here. Interesting. Because there was a massive shortage of medical workers here in this country. So my family, they decided to come. Some of my aunts actually moved further north because the same problem happened in Canada. They didn't have enough people trained enough to be doctors. Because the United States, people don't go to med school because people don't really go to college here. Y'all just don't. So now they messing with the H-1B visas. Even though they've been running around begging other countries to send medical workers here and people complied, they came and helped out, y'all gonna make H-1B visas $100,000 a year. And these aren't just nurses or regulars. These are also specialists, like top of their field, only people that can do their surgery in 3 states over and all that craziness. So y'all just really do want to fall into a category like a third world nation that just doesn't have medical workers to help you and doesn't have medical health insurance or anything to help you. Like, I don't know where y'all think this is going to lead to greatness, but y'all literally are going to send this place down into a fiery ball of crazy. And I'm going to have to pack a bag just in case.
This whole H-1B visa thing is exactly why I think this regime is going to fail. And let me tell you why. I'm not saying things aren't bad, and I'm not saying you shouldn't worry, but I am telling you this. Every single authoritarian regime throughout time has succeeded because it has used the centralization of power. Usually that centralization of power is within one single leader, and that single leader has a very clear, organized, and precise goal in mind. And right now there are 4 major factions that are battling for control of this country. Number 1, the Orange Clown. The Orange Clown is an authoritarian. Does he know what that is? No. But does he know what he wants? Yes. He wants full unchecked power to do 2 things. He wants to get revenge on his enemies and to enrich himself. That's it. End of story. Next, we have the Heritage Foundation that controls the evangelical base, and their goal is very clear, very obvious. They want a Christo-fascist nation. Next, we have the tech bros, notably Peter Thiel and Elon, who very famously and very proudly purchased this past contest for the Orange Clown, and Peter Thiel, who purchased and installed Couchboy to implement his vision for the future. His vision of the future is, of course, complete government deregulation and the dismantling of democracy to replace it with a techno-oligarchy. And last, we have potentially the most dangerous of all, Mr. Miller himself, Pee Wee German. And he is not dangerous because he's particularly intelligent, obviously. He is dangerous because he is effectively running the country right now. This is not opinion, this is fact, verified through multiple sources coming out of this regime. Pee Wee German is running this country. Pee Wee German writes up executive orders, puts them in front of the Orange Clown, and then tells the Orange Clown to go have fun building his big, beautiful ballroom. This is why this H-1B visa thing is such a perfect example of why this regime is not sustainable, why it will only continue to attack itself. It does not coordinate, it does not communicate, it does not work together. Pee Wee German wrote that executive order because he hates brown people. That's it, end of story, that's all it ever is for him. He puts it in front of the Orange Clown. The Orange Clown does not know what H-1B visas are. He signs it because Pee Wee German told him to, and also because he sees everything through the lens of a mob boss, right? He gets excited at the idea that maybe, these big tech companies are going to panic and they're going to want to keep these visas, and so they are going to bribe the Orange Clown. Very exciting. He will get richer. That's what he wants. Now, the tech bros are going to absolutely flip out about these visas because not only are they incredibly important to their companies, a lot of them are here because of those visas. Like Elon. If you remember back in December, he got into a huge Twitter war with MAGA about these visas, saying that he will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot comprehend. Quote. Now, the Heritage Foundation seems actually pretty neutral about this issue. They don't really care one way or another. Yes, they want to limit immigration, but also I looked into them and they have used these visas in the past for their own organization, so we're going to leave them out of this battle this one time. So basically what is going to happen is these 3 factions are just going to try and battle it out, right? So we got Pee Wee German, who's trying to flex his power over the Orange Clown and also over the tech bros. I do believe that he has a vendetta against the tech bros, specifically Elon, mostly because of his wife. Look into that. And we have the tech bros who are going to fight back with threats of withholding their immense wealth. And then we have the Orange Clown who is going to sit there peeing in his diaper, wondering if maybe Mark Zuckerberg is going to give him a cool gold trophy, just like Tim Apple did. And if we pull back and look at the big picture, this executive order is absolutely illegal, unenforceable, and will be struck down by courts immediately because everybody who works in this administration is an incompetent buffoon. In the meantime, we have panic and chaos while these poor visa holders' lives hang in the balance, not knowing if they can stay or if they can go, while the regime is coming out already contradicting half of what was in the executive order. And rinse and repeat until they completely lose power, whether it be in the midterms or worst case scenario in 4 years. Because this regime does not know how to legislate. They do not know how to implement. All they know how to do is break things. And that is not how you create a successful authoritarian regime. I mean, seriously, at this point, I could do a better job.
I have some very important updates to share with you about the H-1B visa $100,000 fee. The White House and USCIS have provided us with some critical information. And by the way, some of this information contradicts the proclamation. The first important piece of information that you need to know is that this only applies to new petitions that will be filed after September 21st, 2025. In other words, this will only impact those who will go through the next cycle of the H-1B lottery. If you already have your H-1B visa, this does not impact you. And as a matter of fact, they also clarified that you can travel in and out of the United States without any problems, and you will not be charged a fee to re-enter the United States. This is not an annual fee. It is a one-time fee that only applies to the petition at the time that you apply. If you're going to seek renewal or extensions or even a change of employer application that you're going to file with the government, you will not be impacted by this. You will not be responsible for this big fee for any of those processes. Again, because this will impact new petitions, those who will go through the next lottery cycle. Friends, I'm covering all things related to Trump immigration changes. Follow for more.
Those are the reactions, and the panic is written all over people's faces, because actually this is really gonna be real. It's not only going to hit the foreign workers, but it is also going to hit America in a certain way, by the way. And I think that's what some people ignore, that this is not just about the workers alone, right? It's also going to hit the pockets of America, because if these people are not here to work anymore, and like it is being reported that actually these foreign workers, a lot of them are really qualified, overly qualified to even do these jobs, right? And then there's just not so many Americans that are qualified enough to fill these spaces. What is going to befall the tech industry? But not just the tech industry, what is going to befall the healthcare sector? Because that one is very detrimental, by the way. And when you look at it, already some of these understaffed. They already don't have a lot of workers. They already don't have nurses. They already are in shortage when it comes to doctors. Now, what is going to befall on the health care sector? And all the money that has also been coming out of it, on top of it, because also that money helps the government to run, right? What is going to befall the government? I've been hearing rumors of how the government is going to shut down because, the money is not there anymore. And it looks like a lot of people are believing that instead of actually putting America back to rise again, to make it great again, they are actually trying to sink it under the waters, and it will be so hard for anybody to rescue it. People are explaining that is one of the reasons as to why actually Elon Musk was willing to fight to make sure that these visas do not go anywhere, right? But now that he's out of the way, I feel like this was the easiest thing for Donald Trump to do now. He's a businessman. If he's selling a gold card to sell green cards for $1 million, of course, the people that are going to be able to afford it are billionaires and millionaires. And he really values those people. That's who he values. He don't value anybody else that is hardworking. And I think that's where the whole point of him talking about he's getting rid of criminals, right, is invalid. These are not criminals. These are people that are legal. These are people that are actually work very hard. They pay taxes. And the companies they work for as well pay taxes. How much more do you want to take out of them? Yeah. So this is not just about the criminals. It is about him, literally enriching more billionaires. Because if he's selling a card, just a card, a green card, right, to billionaires to come and own Americans, I think you guys should be ready to be owned. You all should be ready to be owned by the rich people. They already do anyway. Unfortunately, this is not a lie. You don't own anything. You don't. Everything is owned by them, including your health care. Everything. They just sell to you. And if you don't have the money, well, you pass. You pass. That is how it works. They sell you the things that actually take you out. They don't want to treat you. They look at you as a check, which is so sad. This is the state that he wants to put America. It would be nice to think of it as a way of actually prioritizing Americans, if at all it is true that Americans have been discriminated against and they were not getting all these positions in hospitals and they were not getting all these positions at tech companies, especially if they are qualified. Now that would be really, really bad. So if at all it is the right, it's going in the right direction of actually having qualified Americans to be working and filling these spaces, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, right. But at the same time, these spaces are so huge. There's just quite a lot of vacuum that Americans themselves can't fill, that actually you will need more other people to come and help in. Yeah. So why would you make someone fail to eat a cake that you can't eat yourself to finish, right? Especially if these people are here legally, and especially if these people are actually paying quite an amount of money already in taxes and also for these visas, because those people don't come there for free. They pay for these visas, and on top of this there are those visas that also get rejected, which includes the visa scams and stuff like that, where people pay but still the visas get rejected, and that's loss. That's money that cannot be refunded, right? So the government makes a lot of money on these people, but it is, at this point, it shows like it is greed. They want to keep eating and eating and eating and eating. They are never satisfied. So you see a lot of people that are in panic. Guess what? The airplanes are going to start also, the plane companies, they're also going to start losing on money, because whoever went off that flight, I don't know if there's any way to cancel it immediately when you have reached the day. Unfortunately, probably not. But guess what? There are people that cancelled, before all of this. Yeah, that's money lost. Yeah, and I understand that those that were trying to sneak in the country, rush so quick, and pay a lot of money just to make sure they come back. But they have the visas already. Like, what is happening, except if this man is trying to kick the corporations that are being also enriching America to go outside, because the markets outside of America are huge and they need these people. Yes, if you are good in tech, I'm telling you, the generation we are in is supposed to be tech driven. So if he's literally targeting these corporations, I don't know. Anyway, those are the reactions and responses of people. I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comment section, because from me for today, that's it. I do love all of you, and I'll see you guys in another amazing video. Until then, my name is Gracie. See you guys later. Bye.